the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I was a little more robust with that than last night. It was a dragged out, like a funeral procession, but the flag, Marcy. Robust.
Always the way.
Jerry, I busted out the home ec teacher thing at the
Yeah,
Christmas.
in your
How'd that
The
go?
day in your honor.
How'd that go? Pretty good?
With her head, she goes, I thought I was gonna get away with once without this coming up.
yeah.
You should be proud of your heritage as a home ec teacher.
Right.
All right, so we're ready to begin here. So we need to adopt the agenda for tonight.
Make a motion, we adopt the agenda.
As usual, Bob is in on it.
Second.
Austin. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And to approve the minutes from 11/20/25.
Second.
It was reversed as typical. All those in favor say aye.
Do we have anybody trying to join? Kathy mentioned she was gonna try. Is there anybody on? I don't know how to check that or if that was sent out.
It usually says up front.
Oh, anybody out there?
Just wanted to double check that.
Hello.
Imagine she was interested in joining.
I didn't hear any.
I don't know, if-
Is she back?
not to my knowledge. I don't know.
She's been communicating. She asked me a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
I just wanted to make sure. I don't know if we have any policy on voting, but as far as listening in or whatever she can do, wanted to give her the chance to join us.
Okay, so we're ready for a discussion over the presentation put on by Jason Critchlow and St. Joseph County Fire Territory, like 2 weeks ago, I think that was.
I'd be okay if we all just kind of spoke our feelings on it, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that that's important. I expressed to Austin, I think that no matter moving forward in the future, we have to be united, right? Because it affects all of us. It affects all of our little communities together. So, and I'll start. That meeting, I think, went well. I don't think that I think it was very disarming. I think it was done how it was intended to do. But I also echo, the conversations that we've had that says, we will probably have to do something moving forward. But do we need to do it that quickly? And if we don't have all the facts and we can't be comfortable with it, I don't know that it warrants more I think it warrants future discussion, but I think that they don't need to spend their money to study it any further. If this is something that's the pleasure of the board would like to pursue, we will pursue later. But right now, I think it's fine. We're doing just fine.
I'm a hard no.
Fair.
Same thing with Josh there. Part of the scare, I guess, is that they would dissolve townships. I would think that our legislators would be smart enough not to dissolve townships before giving fire territories a chance to regroup. And then now all of a sudden, we got all mayhem across the state then. So I'll give them enough credit that that won't happen in that order, that like next year, they would not dissolve fire territories before we had a chance to do anything about it. So I'm giving them that much credit that they're smart enough to figure that out. And so I would say we would wait for that year grace that we would probably get if and that does come to happen.
And once we see kind of what they're signaling, then we can come up with a good plan to protect ourselves, right? And we do have options. We just need to set up a meeting and talk about those options and how realistic they are versus unrealistic. And we'll just go from there.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, no, I want to know more. I was a little anxious about the numbers for Hudson not being included. If that was an oversight, understandable perhaps. That we're a smaller aspect of our territory, but yeah, I want to know more. And Gary, I think you're right. I think we should give more credit to our legislature that they're not going to throw everything in disarray and would give us hopefully some time to figure out fire protection for our residents before they dissolve us.
I'm a hard no at this point also. The time frame. First off, like I said, way too short a notice for anyone to think on this. You know, we need more time. We can't just be given this in 3 to 4 weeks and say, you gotta make a decision. And I've got several reasons. Honestly, if we were gonna do something like this, I think I'd rather see us go this way. I think our core values for our communities with Rolling Prairie Net would be a better fit than going that way.
What do you mean by going this way?
West versus east.
West.
West versus east.
Towards the.
Our kids all go to
Rolling Prairie.
Yeah, our kids all go to school together, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that would be the smarter way to go if we were gonna do something like that. Instead of going towards South Bend. That's just one of my reasons. But,
Absolutely, Chris.
Out that direction.
Yep.
See,
I concur with all the reasons previously stated, all the concerns, all the reasons. It's just too much too soon. And we need to just take it slower and really, really analyze and examine with more information.
Keith?
I don't think we should just do nothing. I think we should be proactive. I think that the idea of the town becoming a district is one, we should actively pursue that. We should invest our time, and the other would be to look at going west, like Dave suggested. That would be another option. I don't know, you know, if there's any other options, like a fire district based on the county, maybe. I don't know what they are, but we should identify the option. We should identify the alternatives and then decide to pursue at least one of them, and kind of do it in conjunction with all the other things that go on next year with the new contract and stuff. It all becomes one big thing. And so that's what I would.
What do they have as far as territories in that direction?
We're the only territory in LaPorte County.
Oh, okay, so it's
Um,
quite a ways too. That
There are
takes.
two
us up
city,
to-
there are two city fire departments, two municipal departments. Now, speaking, and I can never remember the head of the ITA is over in the northern part.
Sakowski. Lisa Pierzakowski.
Yes. One of those folks over there, they're trying to do a fire territory now with 3 or 4 different townships. But they're also, I think they're trying to also consolidate their townships somehow.
What townships are they now?
I don't know.
Center is Lisa's. I don't know who's.
Springfield?
I don't know. I know she's in.
Like say.
We had made an off the cuff comment down at the last ITA. I was like, if you guys are looking for fire protection, you know what I mean? And she was like, oh, we're trying to do this. And I was like, I was just trying to make a joke of this. My bad.
She was probably.
Townships.
Uh-huh.
But I remember when Wills came here, you know, trying to make a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they volunteer
Wills doesn't have, they contract
with the county.
with the keep rolling, yeah. I agree, that would work. It's just, I think it's gonna take this board's effort to reach out to those township trustees and that, because not that I enjoy doing that, but I don't have those relationships. I don't live in LaPorte County, like the Hudson. I think that would be a perfect opportunity to say, you know what? Sustainable future with, you know, as it kind of clarifies what the legislature's gonna do. You know, we can kind of keep that and then start making those connections, because I think that, you're right. All of our kids go to school together, you know. We share the resources of the town, so that's how the town gets drawn into this. And so it's a lot bigger than we think. The other thing, and I feel a little remiss not bringing it up, is that, you know, we left this meeting the other night and I hadn't realized how impactful these conversations are on the firefighters, right? And not that they're gonna know
You mean
everything.
your crew?
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually felt terrible because I'm very transparent with them. And they kind of felt like they had been held in the dark. And so I'm actually meeting with them next week just to kind of say, listen, that's on me. Because we talk about when other fire departments make mergers, it happens at the administration level, and they're like, you know, the analogy of being a mushroom, you
So
know?
you're saying they felt caught off guard?
Yes.
Okay.
And so that is unfair to them. There's no, we're not doing anything in secret. And so it's my job to communicate that to them and the reasons why we look at these things, right? And so meeting with them next week, and I kind of met with them on and off because fire services, probably like every other, you know, you get in the rooms and you start feeding off each other and you can eat each other that quickly because it becomes toxic if you're not hearing it from somebody that has some insight with what's going on.
Would you feel comfortable, or could you at all speak about some of their concerns or anything that they had mentioned or were caught off guard about? Just,
So what we're very prideful of is our culture, right? And culture in the fire service is very important. You walk into our station and it doesn't matter what shift you're on, it's a very inviting feel. That's how it is across the board. They're every shift, all three shifts are very different in their own respect, but they all have that common core value. And they work on each other's shift and they feed off each other, and it's like a family. I know that I've spoken about that before. And they're worried about losing that. I'm worried about losing that. I honestly, I do.
I'm worried about losing.
Right? We are so proud of what we've created, and even adding a second station. So take everybody out of this. We have all the money in the world. Say, data centers are coming, they're giving us all the money in the world. Just kidding.
Probably.
Hey, that's what the mayor's and the county health commission says.
But how do you populate another station and keep that same environment across two stations? And we talk about it constantly. You know, you've cultivated good new leaders, right? And so now you depend on those leaders to propagate that to the next generation behind them. But you have to split them up. You have to get it across two stations. And so how do you effectively do that? And so we put a lot of effort just to think in our microcosm, when we expand, as we are, how do we do that? So that is their big thing. You have people worried about losing their job. There's never been not one person has ever said people are going to lose their job. But you worry about that because the stability that they've enjoyed is now different. It's you're expanding. Am I now expendable because we're expanding? So it's all little things, but they're all valid. Everybody's feelings are valid, and you know, again, I've already interjected individual. I'm gonna speak to them as a whole. They have their union elections next week, and so that's a perfect opportunity to max participation.
absolutely.
I think overall, what they're afraid of is being taken over. And
New chief, new admin staff.
And it's like,
That's not what I signed up for.
there's certain things that we need to,
Bob said it best
Have
at
your-
that last meeting. Bob said it perfect. We don't need them, they need us. And I think this town and this fire department does a great job at everything. And it could just be the downfall of us.
Yeah.
If we introduce something like that into us.
Will, what's your thoughts on this? You're the last guy here.
Yeah, I think it's a definite no-go for like voting on it next year. I think that's insane. So,
For next year.
right, voting on
Now
it
For next year.
For starting
Yeah.
next year to start in 27.
Yeah.
I would think it's and I've explained this to Critchlow, like, this is a relationship thing.
Mhm.
And he understands that, so I think that he was just, I wasn't here for the whole meeting, but I'm assuming that he was just putting it out there, we could do it as soon as this. But, you know, everyone has to be on board with it because, and I've told Critchlow that, like, we're all, you know, family between, you know, Olive Township, New Carlisle, and Hudson. We come as a package, and so everybody's got to be on board. I think that there's other potential options out there. I like Keith's idea with, you know, potential, you know, district, you know, in the town. I like the idea, you know, I've never thought of expanding west. That I think that's a great idea, and I think that you guys are positioned really well out, you know, over there to kind of start talking, you know, with rolling and stuff.
Yeah, really need to do something.
Yeah, but then we have, you know, we'll be having some discussions with other trustees in other townships to see what the interests are. And I think that there are some interests there. I think that we're in a good position. I think financially, we're being responsible. And I think that we're in a good position there. I think that we are in a great spot, and I agree that I think that, we don't need anybody else. And so the biggest thing is that the state wants to see that, they want to see everything merged. And so it's better for us to do it versus them telling us how it's going to be done. And so we can't let that linger though. And we can't, these things take time to do. And so we have to get on this. This needs to be something that we have a pretty good feel of what direction that we want to go in 2026 is my personal goal. I'm not going to tell you guys what you need to, but that would be my recommendation is in 2026, we kind of know like, okay, this is where we feel like we can go. These are some people that feel the same. And
Nice place.
because it's Christmas. No, I love working with Josh. It's just the constant tasks that need to be done and that Josh does and that, Tina has to do, and it's a lot. And so I think having someone that would kind of do all of that, like what did you call it? Like
Almost like a department administrator, and I know that people are, oh, that's the fire chief. But there's more, the political aspect, just the insurance aspect. Holy cow, we're gonna talk about insurance just in here in just a minute, but that eats up so much time. I've been the county city, 51 years old. This year alone, I've been the county city building more than I have my entire life twice over. Right? Just because these people are making decisions that affect, us directly. And I just feel like we need to be out in front of them.
And how much do they really give a shit about us?
unless you're in their face and,
Yeah.
it's the squeaky wheel,
Yeah.
and so.
I do
I
feel
think,
there's some politicians that care.
yeah,
We're gonna get ready to find out here in a couple weeks.
Right.
But
so I do think that regardless, something needs to be done there, but, and we need to move on it. We can't kick this down the road a few years. I feel like the state's gonna do something if we don't do something, so.
Well, I think I said it best, it's
all of our.
no, but we need to not do nothing.
We can't
We
stick
need
our head in
to-
the sand.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, to surmise everything, then we're not interested now. We need to get off our dust. Everybody as a group and people, keep your eyes, ears open, ask questions when you see people that are with other fire places, talk to them a little bit. I never thought of it, and I'm sure some of us didn't, of going westward there, but you got Rolling Prairie. I think that they've still have a volunteer going there.
And they're a big help to us even to these days, but like the fire the other day, we tapped them out. They could do nothing more than help us,
Uh-huh.
right? So,
Oh, so if they have their own fire,
yep, they haven't done.
yeah.
And so
explain that to me again.
we had a fire, Hudson Boulevard the other day,
Oh, yeah.
and they sent, no questions asked, sent everything that they had to help us.
Okay.
Problem is, unlike
Everything was
Yeah, everything was
not much
used up.
needed.
Yeah.
our backup
No,
is,
they
we
have
have
it for themselves left over.
our backup are these paid departments that come in, their backup are more volunteers that may be in worse shape than they are. And I'm not saying that
right.
anybody's watching this, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But they're 100% commitment all the time. And so, whether they're at that point where they think that they need help or don't need help, but that's worth another discussion. And then the Wills Townships, the Galena Townships, because those are both, we touch both of those. Are probably good conversations to have. And I would suggest after the first of the year, maybe I grab one or two of you, we form like an action committee.
Should have.
And we come in here, we write all our options on the board. And then we vet them individually and then come back to this board and say, okay. Because again, if I come to the town and say, hey, we need a municipal apartment, that's a lot on them that we're gonna have to figure out. You know, if we expand west, we have to put a station in a LaPorte County area, right? It would have to happen. There's no doubt about it.
Well,
So,
yeah, but then Kankakee has to go to the, well, there is a station in Rolling.
right,
Okay, but Wills would have to come up with the money to pay for it, right? Is that how these fire territories work?
Yep.
Yeah, so it gets to be real complicated real quick.
Kathy is on.
Okay. Okay. So,
Hey, we got it.
One more thing,
Go
I
ahead.
think a good next step, because I don't want to just completely lay down the, Portage Township option. I think one good step, and I like a lot of things that they do.
yeah, they're established already.
Yeah,
So,
and so I think one good next step for them is trying to set up maybe a field trip, if you will, where we go in and kind of see their operations a little bit, how they do some of their operations. Because I think that would be important if we,
Yes,
do-
if those
if
people we want
do
to fix
decide
with.
to, if we expand anywhere else, we already know our operations because we would be the provider unit. If we're gonna hand those things over, I think that it would be prudent to, go in and see their operations and see what we're, handing over to them.
Yeah, so the next year we spend thinking there's the possibility that we're gonna have to go somewhere else and join up with somebody.
We
else.
worked too hard to get to this point, though, to just throw it to the dogs.
Yeah, I know.
You
I
know,
agree,
And
yeah.
here's something to your point, Josh. If you have two facilities, we will never have that camaraderie that you have with the one.
Mhm.
Just case in point there, we had the junior high. We all ate together. We had our morning breaks together. We stood in the hallway. We could all see each other. We moved to that new building that they're in now, the middle school. And we had 3 different places to eat your lunch. You could see nobody in the hallway because everything was on circles and things like that. And all the teachers to a man said, this is not the same group that we had, once we quit eating together and things like that, and we lost that connection that it really is important, like you say, a culture. So, I mean, even if we go to the point where we do build this new station out there, I don't know how many people it's gonna be manned with, but they're never gonna feel as part of this group that's here. I'm just telling you, that's just.
This probably makes zero sense when it comes to that point, and it's probably not even something you want to do. Because you want to build a good working team, right? You have 3 shifts, a good working team. It's not something where you can shift
Rotate in and out. who-
people around, sort of. Rotate.
Yeah,
That want to maybe.
Teams, but I wonder if you could, cycle them to the different stations.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful of
You
doing
guys.
that because that also kills morale.
Hmm.
Because.
I don't wanna
"Oh,
go.
I've been here for 3 months and now I gotta move
And
all
part-
my stuff
you know,
again.
It's your home, right?
Yeah.
And so you also want to create that environment. So maybe not the same, but I can tell you that we will spend a lot of effort.
That would just be for people
Yeah,
that want to do
There
it.
is times where people will need to move, but coming from a place that tried this, every 2 months you're gonna move stations, and we all hated it.
I think what Dave is talking about is just the people we have now. Doing
Just the
different
people
shifts,
we have now,
doing different shifts. For
yeah,
those that want to do it, maybe that would
Yeah.
be something.
Yeah.
just so you're not working with that same team of 8 all the time, and it would be
Oh.
optional to them if they like the idea to where they could
Yeah.
shift around and be on a different crew.
I'm not sure I understood that when you said it even, because we're looking at doing the St. Joe Fire Territory. Now we've got 5 fire stations.
Yep.
Okay, so if we can't, if we can't do it in 2, I'm facing the Salvation Army. We have, our church in LaPorte is now combined with the church in Michigan City.
Oh.
So we're one army, 2 locations. Well, are we gonna have one Christmas Eve service?
right?
You know, it's like, or, so yeah, it becomes difficult real quick, but the premise is, how can you do it with a 5 fire station territory?
Literally, and you think, you make me the fire chief, right? And you task me with that. It's not about putting out fires. It's not about, rescuing people. It's about that team and that, again, lays me awake at night thinking about it because I don't know those people. I know them, but I don't know them. I know these people. I know their family. I know their wives. We have picnics together. We have Christmas party. We know each other. And to create that in a 5-station system from nothing. I mean, they have their own, I'm not taking away from what they do. They have their own environments, but to try to be injected into that and making sure to preserve this and then propagate it across 3 other stations, 1 new and then 3 existing.
As being a fireman too, I can tell you pride's 90% of everything, You get so proud of being a New Carlisle fireman, I remember the first day Josh come in, I mean, we have our family, we built on it and everything. And to go over there where you're second class to somebody else, or you've not been around, or you're not related to this group, that we work hard to be New Carlisle firemen. And boy, when we walk down the street together, our heads are up there, We're
Kind of like a head football coach going to another
yeah,
university during the playoffs.
Up here.
of course you.
Usually it's down about here.
I'm looking around for somebody that has. I didn't even know about this.
All right, let's move on. We beat this one. All right, discussion there. Point 4, additional appropriations for the 2026 Chevrolet Tahoe.
So
What's the matter with it?
it's not purchased yet.
Okay,
So-
that's the problem, huh?
So when we hired Zach, it's part of the thing. He's been driving around the 2016 Ford, which was the training vehicle. That vehicle needs to be not a daily driving vehicle. It's starting to rust. It really needs to be rotated out, but we're really not in the position to rotate it out quite yet.
What would you use it for then?
People go to class.
Oh,
It would be used sparingly. If another staff vehicle goes down, it can be used as a backup. So it's a nice backup piece. And so we've been partnering with Chevrolet because the size of the vehicle versus no other manufacturer.
I was gonna say Tahoe's a big lug there.
Yeah, that's what Chad drives. So we have 2 options.
Your mercy, go ahead.
Oh, sure. I don't think I need to say anything, do I?
We could finance the vehicle. Originally, that's kind of what I set out to do. A 4-year loan, but it's about $11,000 in interest at the current interest rates, which are 4.89%. That is the lowest across 3 different lenders.
So $11,000 per year for?
No, $11,000 over the life of the loan for the interest,
Just an interest?
just in interest.
You'd say it's a 4?
4-year, yeah.
We don't have the means to fully.
That's my recommendation is to the board is to use fire funds that we have in reserve for the purchase of $59,000.
And these are funds, it's not gonna be additional taxes, just the same for the cameras.
Both of these additional appropriations that I'm asking for are savings account, not additional. They are money that we've squirreled away for the last 5 years.
Is that for this year then, or
Yeah.
for next year?
It would be for this year. It's
So we need to appropriate it today.
yes, that's why I actually asked for this meeting to be kept.
Yeah.
Because we have an operational need too, and it takes 10 days to advertise it, which if approved would be sent out tomorrow, and then it still has to go to the Olive Township Board for final approval.
So do you need a motion for both?
Yes, you want me to talk about the other one? We could do it in one.
The other one.
So you remember roughly February, March, we started talking about the increase in healthcare and how it was debilitating. The big part I'm asking, let me do the ask first and then I'll back into it. Operationally, we're gonna be at $126,461.82 in deficit.
Say again, 126,000?
Yep, 461.82.
in debt at the end of this year?
Yes, if we
Over budget.
over budget, not in debt.
Okay.
About $100,000 of that is because of our healthcare. Once we knew it went over, we really had no option, right? Because we found out in December last year where we onboarded it to save $20,000 at the time. And it really quickly turned out to be a disaster. It was terrible insurance. Every time a pre-authorization for something, they would deny it. And they were charging us just a bunch more. And I have those figures. I'm going to share them with you in a second. I'll tell you the story. So we started shopping around. We found a company called Virtuous Benefits. Virtuous Benefits was able to establish a clinic for us, actually established 2 clinics, one in LaPorte for the people that live over this way, and then one in the Mishawaka area for people that lived over that way. We go there for all of our basic healthcare needs. You have a cold, you have an infection, whatever, and that's included in our plan. And then we pay cash prices for everything else. So we're theoretically, in theory, we're self-insured, but it's handled through a company called Virtuous Benefits. We were able to cut our costs. The first 7 months of the year cost us $226,982, which is all we had budgeted for 2025. In the last 5 months out the door, we paid our last payment was only $123.89. It wasn't quite in half, but it was substantial savings.
So 350.
Yes.
So we spent 350, but the year before we spent 700,000?
No, the year before we were right around 213,000. I can pull that for in 2024.
Okay, so that's where that $126,000.
Our healthcare costs went up 60 to 80% was projected what it was going to be, and we were stuck. There was really nothing we could do except for start shopping around, which took us till July to find it and then onboard us and do all that.
Are we staying with Virtuous or?
Yes.
Virtuous Benefits?
We also changed our policy cycle. It's July to July now. So during our renewal phase, we'll know in our budgeting process what that's going to cost us. So if there are any overages, we can identify it early and not run into a shortcoming.
So this is for 17 people, so we're pushing 20,000.
21 people,
Oh, 21 people.
our admin staff, 20,
So,
yeah, Susan, 21.
so that's
Oh,
about,
Tina's on there too.
I guess somewhere around $17,000 per person for their health insurance, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's not bad. Mars don't we only pay like $10,000 for?
Well, when I worked for the town budgeted $12,000 per person.
Yeah.
But you guys have a solvent fund. We've never, in order to get that, and I forgot what the figure was, you'd have like $1 million to get for something our size to do that. Because you also carry the liability of catastrophe. We actually have to have a policy for catastrophe.
So, and you have the families, we pay, is it 40%, 50%?
60.
So we pay 60% of the family member.
Who's
So
paying?
if the territory pays 60% of the firefighters' family, their family members,
Dependents.
they're dependent.
Of your premium, so then the firefighter pays the other 40%.
So it's not just the firefighter
Yeah.
in that equation, it's also,
Oh, no, but I think that $12,000 worth, that covers everything, doesn't it? The family plan.
But what I'm saying is that you guys had
Had $1 million
you had
backup.
money in an account that you basically self-insure that.
Uh-huh.
We wanted to go to that, but we don't have any the ability for us to get that capital is unrealistic. I'm not saying it's not doable.
down the road.
Yeah.
We're so young, you know, we just have.
I'm just saying, because their insurance is like 90-10. I don't, is yours 80-20?
But I think
Haven't paid
we just got
anything.
caught, we got stuck with this insurance because of when it, what, you know,
Right.
the budget cycle.
Stuff
and when
with
it
the
was-
previous one.
Yeah, we
Okay,
were-
so we have a better one now, then I guess.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
the one we got now is outstanding, and honestly, this huge cost savings, the positive feedback between the two insurance, this is like hands down better. You know, we,
From firemen? A fireman thing?
yes.
Better use it.
And, you know, the other piece is, it's better, and before we didn't have any, out-of-pocket deductibles, we do now. So I'm gonna tell you now you have a deductible, but yet you're still gonna tell me that it's better insurance.
Mm.
That's saying a lot. So, but we're due in, around the beginning of February to have a check-in to make sure that we're, because we can start projecting any shortfalls for the next year,
Mhm.
6 months out. We can say, you know, your guys' spend rate is on par with what we predicted, because I've learned more about insurance than I would ever want to know.
Mhm.
It's a scam. People are
Yeah.
listening, but insurance is a scam.
For instance, we're now on this cash pay, so that's what virtuous benefit does is you go to the doctor outside of the clinic, or you go get an x-ray, blood work, whatever, they negotiate a cash pay price. So like when we
You
get,
negotiate your price, then when you go in?
well, they
It's gotta work.
negotiate it prior to us going,
Oh,
and when we go in,
they just
it's
tell.
already paid for and everything, you just go in and do it. So like for chest X,
So the doctor is negotiating with the insurance company before it happens? And then when you go in, they just tell you.
so like if we go get a chest x-ray, with $38, I think,
$38.
is what we pay for cash price for chest x-ray,
Sounds reasonable.
But that chest
But-
x-ray to an insurance company would cost how much?
about 300.
The MRI price is ridiculous. I think, it sticks in my head that an MRI is like $250 cash price, but it's like $1,500 to the insurance company. So,
But that's where our savings comes is
yes.
we're paying into a pot that they're using to pay out these cash prices, but they're not paying the, with a not network, but,
It's just the
like,
insurance price.
like the Blue Cross Blue Shield, that kind of network. They're not paying a network price.
They're
They're
not
just
paying a network
paid.
premium.
cash price, and the facilities like it because they're getting paid immediately. They don't have to file and they don't have to wait and then take what you give them.
Mhm.
They just pay.
So we're right now at approximately 350,000 a year for 21 people. Is that the one you got?
No, it's
now?
less than that. It's,
Now it's less.
Yeah.
let me math real
It
quick.
was gonna be like 450,000, right? Cause this
Yeah.
is just for
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
It was gonna be 450,000. Now we're gonna be at
1.3089 divided by
Yeah.
5.
It just took us about 5 months to find it, vet
It'll
it.
be, it's 295, 413 for a
So
year.
300,000.
Yeah.
versus 450.
And do we have the cash reserves for both the Tahoe, the
Yes.
upfront and the,
Yeah, so
So yeah, how's that figure?
our current cash reserves are sitting at 303 as of this morning. There will be more money in there after because, like all of our receivables will be reconciled for the rest of the year. So, there's more money coming in. Current, as today, it's 303 minus, 185, 462 for the overage and the Tahoe. And that's gonna leave, $145,000, 121 still in reserve moving forward.
and do we anticipate that'll be going back up over time?
And honestly, here's the other bit.
Yeah.
Is we projected high on overtime that we can't do without, right? So that means because there's still personal and sick days out there. So if somebody calls off for 4 days, we've predicted in there that we have the ability with those figures I gave you to pay that. So actually, there's probably gonna be some money going back into savings at the end of the year, but I had to predict high because I don't know when somebody's gonna get sick. I don't know. They have personal days. Their personal days, they can take at any point. So that was predicted over our 3 highest months. We averaged the 3 highest months of usage. So I'm confident that we should see some actual money go back.
I'm just curious if you could guess, I guess. What would be the cash reserves once those go back in? Just at the end of the year.
So I would say, at the end of the year, if we predicted high, And I feel it's gonna be, there could be another $15,000 to $20,000 going back
Okay.
to savings.
What are the?
But again, I'm gonna tell you that, and then I'm gonna get the norovirus running through the station, and
You're on that kick today, right?
I read about norovirus. How gross is it?
Spook you?
What's that?
Did it spook you?
I'm a germaphobe on a level. I mean, matter of fact, I tell these guys, they come in, sneak, get out of my office. I have an air purifier in my office. I don't like being sick. It's-
So I guess we're looking for a motion to approve additional appropriations for the. Do anyone want to do it with a number figure?
Yep, I would say
The Tahoe.
$59,000 for the Chevrolet Tahoe and $126,462 for the cost overrun.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Buying that Tahoe outright, can you get a better price than that 59?
No, that's
Or
the
is
cash price.
That
That is the cash price, yeah.
Okay,
And if you did it in a 4-year installment, what's the total of
11 grand.
It
it? Is
is.
that a year? Or a total?
No, that's total.
70, right?
It's on, oh yeah,
You have the glasses.
4 years, at 5.99% interest. The total, yeah, 74,361.45.
No brainer.
So it's more than 11.
It's 15,000.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to approve those additional appropriations, both the Tahoe and.
Not to exceed 60,000, not to exceed 126,500.
So amended.
Yes.
Second,
Been moved and seconded. We approve new Tahoe for not to exceed $60,000. And what's the 126,500?
Operational, costs.
Operational costs not to exceed 126,500. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All approved. So it passed. And opposed? Nobody.
Austin, make a motion.
Yep. I don't. Only like that, every old business.
hey, sir, would it be possible to call you back in just about a half hour?
Somebody reporting a sidewalk that has
I
snow.
was thinking that.
That'd be fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, sounds great. Thank, and I'm sorry,
All right, Flash Gordon, are you ready to rejoin our man?
be careful, buddy. I may not be big, but he is. Yeah.
I get overstepped.
All right, moving on. So that was additional appropriations then?
Yep.
So that's already covered.
So both those, yes, both those are covered. Old business. That was part of the additional appropriation. Yep,
So operations is
done.
done. Old business?
Yeah, it's not business.
I just have one on the thing and I have another piece.
Okay, go ahead. Old business?
New business. No, I don't have the old business.
Is there any old business? Anybody? I had something. I can't think what the heck it was. Oh. All right, moving on. New business. Cancel meeting for December 18th.
Yep. Unless you guys really want to meet, I don't know that there's any value to it. The one thing that I would say is we do need to set the meeting for the first meeting of the year. There's no current, timeframe that has to be done. But it needs to be discussion that everybody's scheduled, for next year. Olive goes to 3 and the 2 other entities go to 2. So you guys will figure out, I mean, if you guys are staying on it, awesome.
Okay, so township has 3.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to suggest the third Thursday of January. Same time. That work for anybody? Everybody?
Is that the third
It's the third?
Thursday? Okay. Is that gonna be like our standard throughout? the
I
year?
like it.
Is that good with everybody? Yep.
Well,
This third Thursday, 5:30 here.
January,
Okay.
At that point, we can do the officers and, I think we probably need to set the tone for next year. I mean, if we're gonna, pursue our options moving forward, we can break in some subcommittees. The other things that we have going on next year are the negotiations for
I guess they
the,
were-
for the union next year.
Mhm.
Um,
So are we 2 years?
every 2
Like
years.
this,
Yep. And,
Just one question on that. So Will, I take it you're gonna be back on the board next year then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you running?
Oh,
Yeah.
provided you get elected, of
I
course.
mean, the iron's in the fire, not to. Yeah.
and so I think we need to I think next year, my goals for next year are, put Keith on the spot. We have a lot of stuff that we need to reconcile, both figuratively and literally, and we need to get a plan for that. So there may be some, I don't know what we want, we'll have to figure out names for some of these subcommittees, but I know that as individual board members, there's some stuff that we need to address. And so if that is, we'll break down into some subcommittees and do that as well. Not to eat up everybody's time, because everybody's time is valuable, but these are very important issues. And so, and I don't ever want anybody to think they're being put off, but I think that we can better utilize our time in smaller groups and then come back to this group as a whole with findings and facts and probably most likely some policies that we need to put in place to address some of these issues. So,
Where are we at with the budgeting charge thing that we had talked about, like,
Sign offs, what is the word?
yes, that is 100% part of this, write-offs.
no, what we charge for people?
Yes.
What we charge
That
for
also-
an ambulance call, what's
The fire fees and the EMS fees,
right,
Yeah.
yeah, we were kind of on
And
that,
all
and
of
then we
the-
got distracted
all
with
of the
that
legal
group
stuff
meeting.
and.
Yes,
Yeah. So we
We
need to
need-
pursue that and have something written down.
we need to have something written down, agreed upon, and the flow of that. Because in the short term, we've addressed our last audit, and our last audit said we weren't reconciling. We are reconciling now, but there's really no policy on how that's done. We're doing it to meet the intent, I believe. We're doing it to meet the intent of the audit. But I also agree with Keith that there needs to be a policy in place that establishes that, right?
And a written procedure,
And a written procedure, yes.
so you know who's involved and at
Yeah.
what points. So that way, if you want to make a change, you go back and make a change and everybody understands what's been changed.
Very good.
Otherwise, there's no oversight.
Yeah, and it gets very loose and it's things that we've never thought of
Mhm.
that all have validity. And so I want to make sure that we're doing it right and all you guys are confident that we're doing it right. And so we're going to spend a lot of time on that, moving forward. So, if you're passionate about something within the fire department, we need to break it down, we'll break it down. If you're not and you're happy, we'll leave it. But minimally, I know the financial piece, the receivables, the charges, all that stuff need to be done, and that needs to be done in short order. We can't really let it, I also agree with Keith in the fact that we've let it go on too long at this point. I've dug through some stuff where we, approved the fire billing. We found that the EMS billing, we've been running off the notion that, it's not notion, it is state law. We follow that piece, but then the rates, it's overwhelming at some point, all the stuff that we need to accomplish. And I need to spend time, especially with Keith and anybody else that's interested, to get it ironed out, to get a path. We need to know our legal requirements. We need to know all of that. So I would say that we're gonna spend a lot of time together, moving
Looking forward to it.
So here's something out of that meeting when all those people were here 2 weeks ago, that they mentioned, I didn't know it existed, a fire and police protections TIF or something, it has, in other words,
Safety TIF,
what's
or,
that?
Public safety,
lit.
local income tax, public
Well-
safety, local income tax.
In other words, the TIF district, instead of just all the money going to the county, some of it goes to police and fire safety. I mean,
Good.
they have Has to be a special tip for that, though. It just doesn't happen automatically.
No,
So here, the county has the ability to establish a public safety lit, and there is one now.
that's a public safety lit,
Yeah,
not tip.
right, there's not a tip, it's a lit.
Well, this guy called it a tip there last week there, Jason Kuchow or whatever. I didn't know such a thing existed.
So I think that, yeah, it could be, it's two separate things. The county can appropriate money to, to the territory for fire stations, fire trucks, and personnel
At their
Using
discretion,
the tip.
using the TIF
at their discretion, though.
at their discretion.
Yeah.
And it's, which they're more on the side on using those monies to fund stations and,
Capital expenses.
right, trucks, equipment. It gets a little hairy with the, using it to fund personnel.
Hmm.
Because that law can get changed down at state, 1 year to the next. And so when you are, what do I want to say? When you are,
Become dependent on it.
exactly, when you're dependent on that, then that's it's not very stable ground. That's how it was explained to us.
Well-
I could see that, but
And Plainfield, I was told they've got it set up.
They do.
They just, when a company comes in, wants to build an industry or whatever, their tip, there's a percentage that's going. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
county
you
deciding.
could set the TIF up
So it just
to have
automatically
a
money goes
carve-out
in. You don't have to go
for-
begging for it.
for fire and safety. Yeah,
TIF is property, lit is obviously income tax, right?
right.
And that you've been speaking about TIF, can they do the same thing with lit? Is there a light or a lit that goes to,
So two things, the county can establish a lit,
Yeah.
so, LaPorte County does have public safety lit, they kind of share it amongst the fire departments over there, and I'd like to wrap my head around that, because we are a fire department, and we are within LaPorte County.
oh wait, that was small part.
Right, but
So
still,
that just
but,
Hudson.
I mean,
Maybe a little bit.
if they give Kankakee $20,000, why aren't we entitled to that as well?
Yeah,
That's neither here nor there. Also municipalities can establish lit, and that's the town, so if,
And that's how Plainfield goes.
that's how Plainfield does it, because Plainfield's a city, whatever class city they are,
Town,
town.
big town, but yeah.
And they established, and there's bigger conversations here, and I don't want to, because the territories board doesn't really do this, but what those towns and cities are doing is they are annexing to the borders of their townships. So Carmel's a good example. I don't know what that
Clay Township.
Clay Township in Carmel, Indiana, they've annexed to the borders, and they're able to take advantage of all the laws, all the lit, all that piece. But it also, it's hard for this town to do it, because you're talking a town that's of micro size versus like the third biggest town in the state. So, or city. So, but there's a lot of moving pieces to that, and the territory is just a small part of that. But when we go around to these conferences and events and whatever, and you see how other departments are doing that, and they're like, well, why don't you try this? Why don't I don't have control of the town, right? I don't. The town is its own entity, and we're a piece of that. So, but that goes back to the brainstorming of how we move forward as a territory, municipality, or district, or staying pat and trying to grow it with what we have. Those are all valid. We just need to kind of hone in and then work with however we're going to do that.
Well, I would just like to see us maybe contact Pete, and I think he would have a good handle on how that could be done.
Yeah, I mean,
But-
we've reached out to him about that, so many, we've reached out, and Pete's on our side with that. And we've reached out to the county about doing that.
which aspect, which role?
About the pulling from the TIF, yeah, and
Just kind of stuck there with them.
Yeah, our biggest thing is, let's get the station.
Yeah.
And then, because we have trucks on order.
Mhm.
And so it's been a step-by-step type of process, right? We have the trucks on order and they've agreed and they're gonna be getting us an MOU
Memorandum of understanding or
for at least the brush truck for now, and then the other, I think it's 3 trucks that are coming up after that. So, okay, so we have that established. Well, now we need a building to put them in. So now we it's one of those things like, we don't have the money to do it. We're not having our taxpayers pay for this. So county, now we need you to, fund this building. And so once we have the trucks in the building, then it's like, well,
butts and seats.
we need butts and seats, and we're not gonna tax our taxpayers in doing that, and, so. We can look at doing that, but it's, I guess that's my view, anyway.
I was understanding from Jerry though, were you asking if Pete would have some guidance on whether we want to go district, municipality, or how to possibly grow? Is that-
No, I'm
Well-
interested in having some type of a tip, and it's kind of automatic. When somebody comes in here with an idea for a factory or whatever, Amazon, whoever.
Yeah.
That, okay, so that X dollars per tip, a percent of that goes to fire safety and police safety. I mean,
Well,
you
that's
look at what extra we've had to spend, and there's no denying it because of.
That's more
Increase.
getting hold of like Joe Thomas and Carl Baxmeyer, because those are the people that
Would have to
negotiate.
make that decision, yeah.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, Pete is a huge reason. I talk to Pete all the time and not all of it's billed. I did confirm that.
Pete,
Yes,
Artesino,
and he does have a lot of ideas, so he's gonna be a good resource. I'm actually
Yeah.
gonna invite him to the meeting on the 15th.
because I'd like to talk to him.
We-
We stick
we
that
can
on
ask
the
him
agenda there,
anything.
Chad. Who's our agenda guy? You
Oh,
are?
I and just throw in the minutes. And
For the
Yeah.
15th, Pete's gonna be here, so we think of it. I would like to pursue what he knows about getting something that it's an automatic thing. Well, I don't like the idea they can bring a factory in here, all kinds of money, millions of dollars from Amazon. They gotta be getting, they can't throw some of it our way to pay for some of these things we have to buy because of that.
Josh, I'm sure I can tell you that we've been.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, we need it so it's automatic. Not
Pounding
have
this
to beg.
table for money.
If I may,
Yeah, I know.
motion to adjourn.
Oh. We
We
have
have set the
some
meeting. We're good.
motion to adjourn.
One more thing, I'll make this quick. Josh and I talked briefly before the meeting, and we're interested in trying to find a local commercial company that's interested in doing repairs and maintenance on the fire station. And so.
Like what type of repairs real quick here?
It could be anything like parking to installing what's that?
Your firm doesn't do that, does it?
No, we're residential.
So license place, it can't be just a,
When we talked about just having kind of a handyman type of person that we would just hire, but that gets a little,
Yeah.
for me, I guess it'd just be a lot easier and cut and dry if it's just a business that knows,
We wouldn't want to
commercial
contract an individual.
buildings. Yeah, just contracting that
Okay.
stuff
Yeah.
out.
Do we need to put out a bid or a request for something like that?
Well, we need, I think
That's
it's
RFP.
small enough that we wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I don't know if
It'd
you stand,
be
if
an
you know
ongoing
somebody that could perform in that,
Capacity.
capacity,
Yeah.
then we would entertain that piece, because what they were talking about is they have a building guy. It'd be so awesome to be able to employ.
Portage had said this at the meeting.
If I got a clogged toilet, I'm not trying to contact 5 different places.
Hmm.
I have one person I can go to.
so we need someone that could do like heating and cooling, plumbing, electricity, general.
Talking.
Calling,
Yeah.
so window in, we need a window in.
Yeah.
What about, Keith and, what the hell did they call themselves?
Lambert's pretty damn sharp.
Well, if you could think about that, if
Yeah.
you know somebody, text me or
Think
email
about
me,
it. Yeah.
and we'll
Throw
move
that out.
forward.
So I watched Rich.
K and K,
K.
do your best and cock the rest.
Okay, there's been a motion made to adjourn. Bob will second that. All those in favor say aye. Have a Merry Christmas,
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody, thank you so much for a great year. I
Bye.
appreciate all the
Do
support.
we have our party coming up here yet?
Yeah, 13th,
See ya, Kathy.
13th. Does Kathy, do you know
Yeah.
about that, right?
What?
The Christmas party?
No.
If you don't, it's Austin's fault.
No, I don't know anything about it. I'm
It's
not
my
on the
fault.
board.
You-
There you are.